ANC Spokesperson Pule Mabe joins us now to talk about Mr. Watson's untimely passing. Mr. Mabe, thank you very much for your time. First, I want to ask you a question as an ordinary citizen of this country. When you looked at the visuals of that accident, in your mind, what in your mind is the reason really about why Gavin Watson died in the manner that he did?
Well, Xoli, morning and morning to your viewers. Being an African myself, I come from a background where when a person has passed on, what we do at that immediate time is to accept that one of our own is no more. You know, so that is the community and background that I come from. You know, it really doesn't. It's not a. It immediately doesn't come up that we must worry ourselves at that point on circumstances surrounding the passing on. That is at least in the community that I come from, because we understand that there is no amount of questions surrounding the passing on of a person that would ultimately bring that person back to life. You know, so that is the most unfortunate part. But of course, leave it to authorities who have got the power to do investigations, to do so well within their own means, so that they could be able to then communicate and say, this is what is it. Because death is a sad thing in our own African communities.
Indeed. Look, while you hold that view, and of course you now wear your political party hat, one of your comrades in the Eastern Cape, Andile Lungusa, is very clear that there's foul play in the manner in which Mr. Watson died. How do you respond to that?
Well, like I said, I mean, our own comrades have got a right to express their different views. The truth is that South Africa is now -1 Gavin Watson. Gavin Watson is no more. You know, he is not there to talk or speak for himself. You know, he was in that tragic crash, where he untimely lost his life. And of course, I mean, I have seen they are quite. If you go to social media, there's even one Gavin Watson who's an IT technician out in Europe, you know, who's also entering the fray from a very different angle. So all I'm saying is, this is now a mourning period. The family has lost their loved ones. We need to give them that space to mourn. And those of us that could make this kind of sentimental contributions on how people will have come to understand Gavin should do so in conveying our messages of condolences to the family and the loved ones and the many others who might have worked with Gavin because of his life.
Gavin Watson and the Watson family,
yes,
have a very, very illustrious history with the ANC that dates back many years.
Yes.
Their contribution to the anti-apartheid struggle, I don't think it can be diminished in any way.
Yes.
But the manner in which Gavin Watson passes, the legacy is tainted, though. How does the ANC want him to be remembered?
Well, we have issued a statement yesterday characterizing Gavin as an anti-apartheid activist, factually and truthfully so, because of what him and his brothers during the dark days of apartheid did, including being white and taking an unusual decision to associate with a movement of an Africanist movement like the ANC in that way, and going on to make sure that they assist activities of the UDF, but also their own activities towards being advocates of the deracialization of sports, especially rugby. But not only that, but again, the number of philanthropic activities that Gavin himself and his family would have undertaken. You see, what we shouldn't be doing, Xoli, is when people have lived lives of honor in communities where they have also gone to extend their hand to help others, we shouldn't also forget that. I mean, the people of the West Rand, where he did a lot of his work, would recall him in that way, as a philanthropist who was very helpful, always available to the community and all of that. And
let me interrupt you there,
that worked with him in the ANC.
Let me interrupt you there, yes. Because, yes, you're quite right in how Mr. Watson should be remembered. But there is this controversy on the side. Is it time, perhaps, for the governing party to reflect on its relationship with money and how that relationship has now put a blemish on this party and its anti-apartheid legacy?
Well, Xoli, to be honest and fair to your question, the party does reflect on that point all the time. I mean, in all our subsequent conferences, we did that. I mean, there was talk about money and its ability to erode the values of our own revolutionary standing. As far back as 2007, they were in the political report that the then president of the ANC was giving out to Polokwane, President Mbeki, out in 2010, as we were going to the National General Council, when we were looking at the anatomy of those things that could contribute to the decay of the movement. Amongst those things was the question of money. In the diagnostic report that our then Secretary General, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, would have presented, the issue was reflected upon. So the ANC has always said that while it must transform the economy, make sure that it contribute through policy in government to have new players playing in the economy through policies such as BEE and many others, that those that are actors or active players in the economy must themselves act in a responsible manner, have a responsible relationship with the party. And what the party has done, Xoli, to your point, is that we have even gone as far as creating a fora that brings together progressive businesses in the form of PBF.
Mr. Mabe, unfortunately, we are out of time. We're going to have to leave our conversation here.